are Tyrians. We are many races, several professions. We practice the arts of combat as well as healing. We have foes, and we fight them without mercy. And it's time for us to claim back what is ours. It's time for us to claim back Tyria from the terror of the Elder Dragons. We can't go on living our lives in fear. We have to fight. We have to make a stand. This is our story.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 27 of Chronicles of Tyria Podcast, Guild Wars 2 podcast for fans, by fans. Some of you may or may not know, Naveen's kind of stepping out temporarily right now, so we're going to be doing this new format, and in the interest of saving some time for Kaysee doing editing, we're going to be throwing in CoT Weekly in front of the podcast and kind of combining the two together.
Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm going to be doing the technical side of the podcast from now on, so I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. It's the first time I've done this sort of thing, so if there's a lot of technical difficulties, I apologise, and if things go wrong, please put them in the chat. Like, for example, you don't see an image or you can't hear any of our voices, please put it in the chat and I'll address it and I'll try and fix it as soon as possible. But rest assured, I'm still learning, and by next episode it should be all fixed and all the little bugs should be done by then. I've realised that some of you might not know what happened to Naveen, so if you want to go to her blog, or it's on our Facebook and our Twitter. She wrote a blog as to why she's taking a short break. You can do that, but rest assured she will be back. Yay! So we should probably get into the show.
Yeah.
Please take it ahead. Go and take it away, Lagwyn.
Sure. So on this week's show, we're going to be talking about Wintersday. In the past, Guild Wars 1, since Wintersday the content starts tomorrow, figure why not give everybody a little bit of a background if you don't know. I know a lot of us have been there for 2, 3, 6, 7 Wintersdays, but for the people that haven't. Also talk about what we know, this will be more in the news section, about Wintersday coming up tomorrow, what we'd like to see in Wintersday, hopefully. And then, we might do kind of an open session at the end. What do you guys think about it as we get closer to the end of it? But for right now, we're going to throw it to CoT Weekly. So CoT Weekly starts now. Maybe.
Yeah. So please take it away, Lagwyn, again.
All right. Cool.
Technical difficulties.
I'm Lagwyn.
And I'm Kaysee. Okay, so I'm sure you're aware tomorrow is Wintersday. Yay! I'm super excited, and there's going to be a lot of content this December. Arenanet has updated their, that page that they have with what's happening each month. They've updated that with lots of new information. It comes with a short teaser video, which was very exciting. I've watched it 5 times over in high definition, trying to get every single little detail out of it. And you also get a glimpse of the jumping puzzle, as well as new town clothes, which I personally really like. I think the town clothes look very spiffy, if that is a word. There will also be new additions to the gem store, as well as festive town clothes, wintry weapon skins, and chests full of holiday treasure. Lastly, that they've updated on is the timed events. The event will start tomorrow on December the 14th at 10 a.m. PST. With this update, you'll have 3 new areas that can be reached from Lion's Arch. There's the Wintersday jumping puzzle, and you can speak to the festive youth near the Mystic Forge, and you can be taken to the jumping puzzle, which I know a lot of us are excited about. I've had a look at some of the pictures, and it looks really interesting. There's a giant snowman and little lollies, and it looks really cool. So players, it would be like the clock tower. Players will be going in batches together, but unlike the clock tower jumping puzzle, it starts off 3 different paths. So it's not just one path. There's 3 different routes you can take, which helps the problem of visibility significantly. The path is wider at some points, which means players will be able to spread out and worry less about tripping over other players and all that sort of thing. It is timed though, and the mechanic of it will be taking frostbite damage, which will erode health over time, which is really exciting. I think it's very appropriate. The PvP snowball fights will make return from Guild Wars 1, yay, and can be reached by talking to the festive Lion Guard near the Mystic Fountain. I'm getting that everyone's really festive this year. Snowball Mayhem will pit player versus player in a capture the flag type of game, and it will revolve around grabbing presents and moving them to your base. There's 3 different combat professions: the supporter, the scout, and the heavy gunner. That sounds interesting. Which will come with custom skills. Skills tend to have a light-hearted flair, and you'll be firing off snowballs, crushing foes with snow boulders, and otherwise participating in a madcap acts of gleeful violence. Oof, sounds awesome. Each profession will get one profession-specific skill, like the warrior's charge skill around the map. You'll find power-ups to augment your gameplay. And lastly is the bell...
Choir.
Choir. I'm like thinking chore. I'm like, no, that's definitely not it. Excuse me. The Bell Choir is a new musical activity located inside the Mystic Forge and is accessed by talking to the Bell Maestro. Sounds interesting. I think Lag compared this to a Guitar Hero for Guild Wars, which I'm really excited to see because I've only played Guitar Hero a few times, so maybe I can get my Guitar Hero skills up through Guild Wars.
Well, they're saying, when you think of like the handbells that you ring, like, people that are outside collecting money, things like that they ring for the holidays, apparently people are saying it's supposed to be like Guitar Hero, but for handbells.
Oh.
And this is the crazy part, I'll throw this out there. For any music fans, there's a free play mode where you can go in and just create your own music using the handbells. So,
I like that.
And you're actually in there with 2 other players doing 3-part harmonies with the bells. So, pretty cool.
It's such an opportunity to be creative. I like that Arenanet is giving that to you. Yeah, so basically I'll just do a rundown of the dates. On the 15th, the Toymaker Tix arrives in the Grove. On the 16th, he'll be in Divinity's Reach. The 17th, Black Citadel. 18th, Hullbreak. 19th, Radissum, and on the 20th he reaches Lion's Arch, where he will remain to the 3rd of January. I know that a lot of people are really worried about the fact that he's on this day. What if I can't make it that day? What if I gotta babysit my auntie's nephew's cat? So basically, don't worry about that, because there will be an opportunity to go back and replay those events in those areas through, I think it's his Toy Factory.
Yep.
So, I've got it written down here. I should just go with what Lag has written down for me. If you can't make it in game for the 24 hours that Tix is in any given city, don't sweat it. You'll be able to replay previous day instance once the Toy Maker has arrived in Lion's Arch. So that's nice. Thank you, Arenanet. Yeah, so I also got here that he will at each city he'll be debuting. Debuting? Debuting. What is
the T is silent.
What is
it's
with the silent letters? New toys for residents, helping him out while he's in the city. You will earn blueprints for toys and ingredients for toy making. Ooh. If you help out in every city, you will have enough ingredients to make a toy. Ah. I love Christmas.
I do my research.
I love Christmas. So basically, and also the workshop, which we were talking about before, is this magical land, Tix's kind of magical land, and there will be a workshop, has a 5-player instance, which players will automatically be leveled to 80, yes, and which is meant to take about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on group organisation. or group suckage. The instant servers are addictive. If you play each new city every day, you will see that the workshop gets more complicated over time and complicated over the course of Tick's journey through Tyria. I like that. Oh jeez, there's just so much Wintersday news coming out. Tick's workshop is a laid out miniature version of Tyria. He used this layout to get toys acclimatized.
Acclimated?
Is it really acclimated? Acclimatized?
Yeah.
Acclimated to the eventual home, which is pretty much the sweetest thing anyone has ever thought up in all of time. Oh, I love it. You'll be able to enter the workshop for Toypocalypse, which is available after Tix has arrived in Lion's Arch. You'll be able to destroy buildings and rampage through cities. Toypocalypse is, as described by Dev, Horde mode meets Tower Defense meets Guild Wars 2. That is pretty cool. Your goal will be to hold off waves of malfunctioning toys, pick up resources, and set up defenses. And keep gift-bearing Doliacs safe. Toypocalypse will be hot joinable through server through activity server. Anyway, everyone's learning my weakness of I cannot pronounce words at all. So. Yeah, it sounds like so much fun. I'm really excited. I didn't know all this stuff until I read it. This is the secret, Lag does the research.
Yeah, and then Kaysee figures it out as we go. That's why in CoT Weekly, it's recorded and we can do many takes.
Yep.
I think record we did it was in 2 takes once. The first time though, like 8 takes, but it's fine. So anyway, thank you, Kaysee, for the Wintersday stuff. Just add a little bit of that. We have a couple of responses from devs, and she kind of mentioned it. Anthony Orden, who is our go-to guy because he seems to comment on everything we have questions about regarding new events. There was a player that was really worried that he was having computer issues, and he's like, I might be able to log in like on the 3rd or the 2nd for like 20 minutes tops. And he said, if you want to worry about getting the end game item, which was the wizard or witch's hat in Halloween, he said all you have to do to claim your final event reward is speak to Tix after he arrives in Lion's Arch on the 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. He'll be there until January 3rd. You have 2 weeks to log in and complete a task that should take no longer than a minute, depending on how fast your client can load the game. So... should be pretty easy to get that. And someone also asked if we know he's going to show up in the Grove on the 15th, and if he's moving, can we see him out and about, like in Caledon Forest, like on his way to Divinity's Reach? And unfortunately, Anthony Orton commented on that and said Tix's airship flies very high and very fast. It's worth noting, however, that they could feasibly have that happen in-game, but he's not sure if it would be worth it, because you wouldn't be able to interact with the airship, and that would take a lot of game resources just to have the ship flying. So that's it for Wintersday. So now we'll go on to other things that we have from Arenanet.
Yeah, so a small update regarding signets. All passive speed boost signets, Ranger's signets of the Hunt, Ellie signets of Air, and Necro's Locust signet will be boosted to 25% boost speed to match the Thief's signet of Shadows. I have a bone to pick with this now that I've just read it. Why do thieves not have quickness, haste, running fastness, swiftness? Thank you. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Haste is totally different. Haste makes you attack faster.
But yeah, so I just had to say that because recently I've been annoyed by that. Do you have a friend who's looking into Guild Wars 2? Well, now's the time to have them join. Not only do they receive an free upgrade to the Digital Deluxe version, but also new players who join will receive a free Wizard's Hat as an in-game item, which is not available any other way. So, time to get your friends in.
That's actually different than the Witch's Hat, which we received. That we got for Halloween as the endgame item. This is a totally different item. This is a Wizard's Hat. And people were complaining, saying, oh, this is bullshit, you know, I bought the game and I was there from the beginning and I can't get my wizard's hat, but everybody else can get it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got access to betas. You got Head Start access. You had access to Halloween. You had access to the free baseball cap. Just let it go, basically, is their philosophy. And if you think about any of that other stuff, like Game of the Year editions of Guild Wars 1, things like that, they added that in for like a small nominal feature. Like you could get access to all the weapons from Game of the Year edition after the fact. And you know, the little thing that lets you summon the fire imp. So, right, so lots of news coming to World versus World. And I know Dan's very excited. So there's a huge list on the official forums, and a couple other places have it listed too. We'll post a link in the description, but I'll just go over a few of the highlights. So, advanced notification of new builds. Everybody's been there where you just dumped like 4 or 5 siege blueprints down on the ground, and you're like, let's take this tower, and then game will restart in 3 minutes, new build available. You're like, awesome, I just wasted the equivalent of 50 silver on siege equipment that's just gone. Now, they also said that they will update you earlier, but they specifically stated that's an undetermined amount of time. So, it could be 5 minutes before, because it was 3. It could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, we don't know. So, just have to deal with that when it happens. The big one I know a lot of people are excited for, again, Alt F4 is no longer an escape now. If someone's fighting and they disconnect during combat via Alt F4, killing the client, etc., their character is instantly killed. Death penalties will be applied to that character, and experience and loot will be handed out as usual, as if you killed them. So, deal with that. People that get pissed when they see a giant Zerg stopping them in the jumping puzzle and they quit out. Deal with it. No more insta-build of walls and gates, and we've all been there, where you take down a wall and your whole Zerg, or half of your Zerg rushes in, and then one stealth thief on the wall drops 1 supply on that wall. The wall comes back up, half the Zerg's cut off, and they swarm you inside. Nope, not happening anymore. Destroy walls and gates, go down, and they need to hit up to 10% health before they actually visually show back up to allow people to not get in. So when you drop the wall down, they won't be able to instantly rebuild it, like I said. And I'm getting a phone call, but it's my parents. Can't deal with that right now. Call them later. Claire, if you're watching, can you call my mom? It's probably for you. So anyway, then there's the awesome new thing, breakout events, which is huge. And if they keep doing cool things like this to make World versus World awesome and new and definitive, it's gonna come back. Because it's been, I've heard, not so much on Tarnished Coast, because we're pretty badass. But other servers I've heard it's pretty much dead. And I feel sorry for those guys. Problem is people don't cry. You left your... Oh, you did. No, Dan left his beer at my house, but Dan's beer is Michelob Light Cider, so it's not really beer.
It doesn't count.
But anyway, so back to breakout events. So I'll you know what? Rather than try to describe it, I will just read off the direct quote from Arenanet. We've added a new type of event to World vs. World called breakout events, which trigger when one or more teams have been pushed completely out of the map. They're designed to help both to help players break out of severely camped portals and provide assistance in establishing a foothold in each map. Here's what designer Matt Witter has to say about them. Breakout events are special World vs. World events that will happen when a team has lost control of all defensive structures, not counting supply camps. An NPC commander will appear in the team's start area and an event will begin that prompts players to gather around. Once enough players are in the commander's presence, he will summon his trusty Doliac to give all allies in the area full supply. He will then lead the charge to nearby objective and give players protection and assist with building siege to assault the objective with. Those benefits, along with a defensive boon that he applies to all nearby allies, makes the attacking players a force to be reckoned with. Defenders will have their work cut out for them, as once the gate or wall piece is destroyed, the commander will move to the Tower Lord inside and attack anyone in his path. And then they go on to say, these changes are just a small part of what World vs. World team has been up to lately. As you may have already heard, we're hard at work to put on some larger updates that we plan to deliver in February. We're not quite ready to talk about the details yet, but as February gets closer, we'll start to reveal more of our secrets.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and like I would throw this in because I couldn't find the actual article, and I'm sorry, where they did say that between January, Arenanet stated, I think it was Colin Johansson, between January and February, there will be 2 massive updates to the game, and the January and February free content updates will be an expansion's worth of content for free.
Sheesh.
Now I know people are like, I don't know about that, but think about Guild Wars 1. Winds of Change, War in Kryta, free events, huge new parts of the game added in for free. And that was 5 years into the game, 6 years in the game's life cycle.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what content they would be adding. Would it be new areas, maybe playable race? Tengu?
possibly that would be something expansion worthy. I would definitely think new skins, maybe new legendaries. I would think maybe a new map.
Hopefully new armor.
Yeah, maybe legendary armor would be cool, but new armor for sure.
Yes.
I would say probably more stuff in South Sun Cove, even though nobody goes there other than the Orichalcomore. Maybe revamps to the dungeons. Maybe new rewards in World vs. World, because I know a lot of players were complaining that, you know, I only play World vs. World, I have no way of getting Ascended gear. You know, and I thought this was brought up to my attention recently. A lot of people are saying, well, it's only an 8% stat boost. It's true. Ascended, if you have the 2 rings and the back piece, it's about an 8% stat boost-ish. But that's only on 3 pieces of item. What about when they release the rest of your accessory slots, your weapons, and all 6 armor pieces? That's 8%. That's, you know, you're going to be at a 50% increase over somebody. That's huge come World versus World. And you're a World versus World player who doesn't PvE. Now you have no way to get that. So maybe they're going to increase the loot tables for keep lords and things like that to give them a viable option.
Yeah, definitely. They could use the tokens to maybe make Ascended gear, and maybe you need to get 500 tokens per Ascended gear a piece or something like that.
Yeah, like badges of honor. Yeah, that'd be great. So, yeah, sorry. It's to you.
No, I was just... Dan's still making fun of me in the comments, telling me stuff about legendaries, but I'm going to ignore him, because I don't want to cry. So, basically... lastly is the CoT news, which is just basically related to authors and anything that's going on the website. If you don't know already, check our Facebook and Twitter more often, because we have finally announced the identity of 2 more authors, which is very exciting. I'm really excited because I love reading our author stuff, and I know recently it has been very quiet. A lot of people have taken breaks due to personal reasons, but I think with Christmas and after Christmas and the 2 new authors, I think there's going to be a lot more stuff on the website, so that's really exciting. So our 2 new authors are Tom and Amy, and they both write Azura, and they have very interesting stories, very different stories, which is really worth Tom writes a very emotive piece, which I really loved, and Amy writes a very fun, kind of quirky bit. So, you know, if there's a bit for everyone in at CoT at the moment, so definitely check them out when we publish them. Also, the runner-ups will be published as one-shots, so that those people can, you know, get their work out there, and we want to encourage them, and hopefully if you like their one-shots, encourage them to continue writing on our forums. That would be really great to get more people writing on our forums. And lastly, the last bit of news is this authors at CoT will be making a little something for all the readers at CoT, a little special gift for Christmas, and we're planning to release it on Christmas Day, so definitely check out CoT on Christmas Day, because there will be a little present waiting there for you. So yeah, that's the end of CoT news.
Alright, this thing can come off. It's no more. It's not news anymore.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
No more sport jacket. Now we're around to casual podcast. Roll up the sleeves. Alright, so shoutouts. Kaysee, you have any shoutouts for this week?
It makes me feel so lonely when I don't have any shoutouts. No, everyone's wonderful. I haven't had a chance to play with anyone for ages because I've been sick and I went away, and I feel really lonely in the guild at the moment. I feel like people aren't on as much, or I haven't had a chance to play with them. So, I'm lonely. Everyone, come play with me. I want friends.
Don't give me this crap, because we've been over this before. But that's just a ploy.
That's a ploy, is it? They give me
Yes.
money. Wah.
Because Kiara and I have had this conversation, and we're like, no, Casey's great, but she says she doesn't have any friends, and we play with her all the time. Some BS.
Yes, no. Well, lately I haven't played with people very much. But yeah, so if you want to do dungeons,
You are the best wife ever.
so if you want to do dungeons, just hit me up and we can have some fun. So yeah, definitely talk to me and invite me to dungeons, and so I'm not so lonely and I have shout outs. Thank you.
Yes, Fractals level 7. Awesome. We did that. Dan keeps yelling that he has a shout out. So why don't you type out your shout out, and then if it's useful. You're calling me? Really? Hello. Hi. You whisper her daily and she never answers. This is our first live caller to CoT Podcast. Dan from the United States, Tarnished Coast server. Alright, it is now out there for everybody who is listening in the internet. Kaysee, you get whispers daily from Dan and you don't answer.
No, he must
What's up
be
with that?
whispering me at the wrong time, or when I've got it minimized or on a login screen. That must be it.
That could be it, because I've whispered you quite a bit when you're in a login screen. Haha, drunk caller. I love it. You guys are great. Tell us what's on your mind, caller number 1. Alright, well, I actually have shoutouts because I take down everybody's name then when something cool happens. So, 182 subscribers on YouTube, 9.5 views, we're over 800 members on the forums. We're just about to break 100 members in the guild, which means I'll have to up the size, because you actually have to pay more gold to upgrade the size of the guild. But I have 2, actually. I have, let's see. My one is to Mesmo Wisdommancer. I don't know if he showed up in the chat or showed up to watch the stream, but Mesmo Wisdommancer, you were very nice to me as my first official foray out as a commander in Tarnished Coast last night during our World versus World night. He came in and said, I said, I'm going to get out of here. And he's like, thank you for leading. This is my first time playing World versus World, and you did a great job. And I was like, I'm going to shout out to you on our podcast. Please watch. We need subscribers. And the other person I wanted to shout out to is, it's either Ruby Renee or Ruby Reen. The last is Rene. She's one of the most famous commanders in the in the Eternal Battlegrounds. For our server for Tarnished Coast. She purposely last night, which I thought was great, would turn off her commander icon. She's really good at what she does, and I've ran around in like a Zerg with her before, but she would turn off her commander icon to allow newer commanders like myself to get experience as a commander by not having people follow her around. So in doing so, that helped me, lead a Zerg all around, and when I left, she flipped on her icon, and that or was going to anyway. So I thought that was really cool, and that leads up to something that's in the works by me. I'm trying to find some people to possibly do a kind of World versus World 101 / your commander icon and you, because I've heard of a lot of complaints from a lot of people that people buy a commander icon because they have money and they're awful. And Alec Cardellina, this one's for you. So you complain about your commanders all the time. And I'm sorry, but if you join Tarnished Coast, then you won't have that problem. But in the meantime, if I can or a series of podcasts or something to that effect, where we get people that are legitimately good at World versus World, commanders from a good website, and then, let's have a talk. Like, if you're a commander, don't do this, do this. If you're playing world versus world, don't take supply from Stone Mist, whatever else. Things like that are pretty useful for everybody to know, just to get the general knowledge out to the public, because not a lot of people know that kind of stuff. So, and there's no guide to world versus world anywhere. So, putting that out there for you guys. And Zenshu's gonna be that commander that leads people to death.
I saw that. Oh.
Robovin, my buddy. There he is.
Yeah, finally.
So, right. So that's pretty much it. Kaysee doesn't have any shoutouts, and in the interest of not having Kaysee have to edit many things, we're gonna try to keep this relatively short, if possible.
Keep it rolling.
And you can be a part of this. For those of you who are listening to the iTunes thing, wow. If you downloaded it from iTunes and you're listening to it, whenever we mention somebody's name, we're not just pulling names out of a hat. It's on the feed on the Twitch TV channel, which you can go back and view it after the fact there or on YouTube. But I figured we'd throw that out there for you guys that are listening to us via iTunes. So, Winter's Day. That's what this is about. Kaysee and I are going to kind of go back and forth, as we already mentioned. I do all the research, so Kaysee's a slacker. She's shaking her head no. We all know the answer to that.
No. Who does the editing? Next time, you know what? Every time he calls me a slacker, I'm going to, edit something rude onto his head. Like, slacker onto his head.
Well, the thing is, right now, you're technically a slacker because there's not a ton of editing going on. Right at this point in time, I am doing more work. Like, after this ends, then I'm free, and you're going to have to edit. And what sucks is you're going to have to get it done before the content drops tomorrow.
Oh, God, don't... Oh, now he lays it on me. Now I realize. Yeah, so...
That isn't enough for you and Avery?
I'll give him, one of those big, bushy ones.
Handlebar. Anyway, so what is Winter's Day? For those of you who don't know, I'm going to just give a little bit of background on Winter's Day, and this will help play in later when we kind of drop into our discussion piece. So, as an annual event in Tyria, Winter's Day celebrates the Tyrian New Year, which a lot of people consider it more towards Christmas, even though it has elements of Christmas with candy canes and fruitcakes and things like that. But it actually is the celebration of the New Year, and it's pretty much Arenanet's way of combining all kind of December holidays into one, and even a little bit of February if you pull Groundhog's Day out of there. So this is according to the Movelian calendar, which is the main Tyrian calendar. There are 4 seasons and 360 days in the Movelian calendar. There's the season of the Zephyr, which is tied to air, season of Phoenix, which is tied to fire, season of Scion, which is water, and season of Colossus, which is earth, which are pretty much the 4 seasons. Air is spring, fire is summer, water is fall, which doesn't make any sense to me, and earth is winter. So, and they're all associated with the different gods. Season of the Phoenix and fire is Balthazar, Grenth is the Colossus, air is, and Zephyr is Dwayna, and Scion water is, I want to say Lyssa, but it might be Melandru. So, we'll figure that out at some point. Jal will help me out, I'm sure. So, 360 days, Movelian calendar. Each season's 90 days. And my thing keeps popping up here. So, Winter's Day comes about at the end of the season of the Colossus, which is the end of winter coming into spring, with the winner decided between a battle between Grenth and Dwayna. And human lore dictates that the victor between these two affects the forthcoming year. And this is kind of where that Groundhog's Day comes in, where if Grenth wins, then winter continues for longer. If Dwayna wins, then spring comes early. And for Groundhog's Day, because Kaysee doesn't have that in Australia, and I'm assuming, nobody in anywhere but America has that. It's this stupid tradition where a groundhog pops out of the ground on February 2nd, Postonky Phil, Pennsylvania, pops out of the ground. If he sees his shadow, It's what is it? It's 2 more months of winter. And if he doesn't, then spring comes early.
Hang on, it's based on whether he sees his shadow?
Yes.
How do they know if he sees his shadow?
Thank you, Jal. Lissa is Zephyr with Dwayna, so then Melandru. So anyway, it's so that's that. Yeah, it's whether or not he comes up. It's really stupid. It really all depends on the positioning of the sun.
Depends on whether he's a scaredy cat.
Yeah, basically. Because if it was he comes out and sees his shadow and gets scared and goes back in, I think that's pretty much it. So anyway, Winter's Day is Groundhog's Day. So it only takes place in Tyria. It does, like, I think as in Tyria, the continent, it does take place in Alona, as we found out once we had access there. And even parts of far north Tyria, like the Eye of the North and the far Shiver Peaks. Cantha does not celebrate Winter's Day. They also don't celebrate Halloween. What's up, Cantha? You good? I mean, you have the same gods.
Too good. No.
So, Dwayna's followers will do whatever they can to bring spring on, while Grenth's followers will do whatever they can to stop Dwayna and plunge Tyria into this extended winter.
Punish.
And pretty much, what's up?
Is he punishing?
Well, it's not. It's weird, especially when you know the relationship between Dwayna and Grenth in Guild Wars 2.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, mommy issues, I think. No, I don't want it to be played out. I want it to be winter forever. But anyway, pretty much consistently Dwayna would win, except for one time, which kind of started the majority of this, she lost. And I'm going to let Kaysee, if you feel comfortable taking that, you can start there. If you want. If not, I'll keep going. I don't have any problem listening to myself talk.
Okay, the event that started. Oh, look, he's even written it down for me. This is awesome. It even started it all. Grenth wins for over 50 years. The year that this started is unknown, but this is Guild Wars 1 time. Dwayna constantly beat Grenth at Wednesday due to a mass of Dwayna supporters because, I mean, who doesn't like Dwayna? That were gathered in Kryta. No matter what, Grenth followers were beaten over and over, causing his icy grip on Tyria to be loosened each time. Grenth followers became sick of their constant losses, and so they devised a wicked plan. Grenth would win the coming Winter's Day for sure. Grenth followers created presents for Dwayna's clergy and brought them to Dwayna's temples. Grenth followers became sick of their... Oh, sorry. I kind of jumped the gun there. They claimed that Dwayna was destined to win. They would never join her side.
I think you skipped ahead and back.
Oh God! Okay.
No, you did. Never mind. You did. You're fine. Don't listen to me.
See, this is what happens in CoT Week normally, and then like we figure it out the first time, and then, but no, this is raw and live. So I hope you managed to all get that, everyone. So basically, they claimed that since Dwayna was destined to win, they would join her side, bringing presents for the clergy to show their conversion. That's the oldest trick in the book. Come on, Dwayna. Seriously.
Uh-huh.
And I know she's a freaking saucy minx. She knows how to pull the guys along on the string. So you know she should know these tricks.
Saucy minx. Love it.
Dwayna's followers, known to believe the best in everyone, were delighted that their enemies had become their become their allies. They ripped into the presents. Jeez, how greedy! They ripped into them. Before the clergy realized it, they had fallen for the trick of Grenth supporters. Each clergy was consumed and trapped inside each present. Ooh, that's dark. The clergy trapped inside the presents could not appear at Winter's Day. When no clergyman appeared, the citizens had lost hope and turned their back on Dwayna. Jeez, that was some serious repercussions. They abandoned all hope and decided not to fight. With this, Grenth won the first Winter's Day. The clergymen were released soon after into Grenth's winter.
So, yeah, that basically started it all. And then now I don't That, I believe, is all prior to the events of Guild Wars 1, but that led up to the reason that we have the big Dwayna versus Grenth fight that we had in Wintersday in Guild Wars 1. So, I don't know if you want this. I'll take this piece, sure. You can have Grenth. So, I figured I'll talk a little bit about the allies of Dwayna, because they're pretty cool, and there's ones that I even forgot about because I hadn't played Guild Wars 1 Wintersday in a year or more. And, like, you know, I would only pretty much, in recent years, I would just show up for the finale. I wouldn't, like, play in any of the quests because I did them once. I had my candy cane weapons and the candy cane shards, so I was only trying to get a mini polar bear, and that didn't happen, so thankfully my luck is better. Guild Wars 2. Anyway. So, other than the human followers of Dwayna, she also had several other allies. And this I actually forgot because it was only in Tyria. They were called Burls, as in BRRLS, which are basically the snowmen that you see. Freezy, those kind of things. The big, kind of look like candy corn, but they're made out of ice with the snowman head. They're called Burls, BRRL. So, there's other creatures that also help Dwayna. Polar bears and moas, and there's some yetis help sometimes. It's kind of random. So the biggest and the baddest of all of the snowmen is Freezy. Freezy is a snowman of immense power that you actually create. Theoretically, according to the game quest, you create him in the quest, the greatest snowman ever made. And he was summoned by using magical artifacts, which were the hat of a failed magician, a pipe made from bones of a powerful frost giant, and 2 pieces of coal from a defeated titan, and the wish of a child. And this would create Freezy. Now, whether or not that's 100% true, because we find out in Eye of the North through the secret lair of the snowmen that that's where he lives. So, I actually have somebody went in, not myself, and found pretty much they had a timeline of what they think how Freezy came about, and the timeline of the quest. In 1072, Behemoth gets a random adventurer to make ingredients to make a new Grench. Said Grench goes to destroy presents in Ascalon sediment. Meanwhile, Joy gets a random adventurer to help Scrappy Jim make a snowman, which turns out to be stronger than any other snowman. Snowman, which is Freezy, goes to defend Nebo Terrace from the Grenchies, defeats Grenchius Magnus in the process. 1075, which ties into Alona hearing about Freezy existing, because they want to copy Tyria, because Tyria is better than Alona. The Alonian children hear of Freezy, and they want to make a better snowman than Freezy, and their attempts are destroyed by the Humbugs, so they can't do it. The reindeer are stolen by Grenth followers, and while Dwayna followers are retrieving the reindeer, said Grenth followers steal in and steal all the presents. Dwayna followers find out, recover some of the presents, and bring out the Wintersday Moa to bring back cheer. Meanwhile, the real presents are taken to the underworld, and the Grenches successfully defeat the first wave of snowmen that are sent to retrieve them, ending with Freezy. But the second attempt comes in, they bowl over the Grenches, and they retrieve the presents. 1078. With the discovery of the secret lair of snowmen, Grenth says the Grenches to attack there. The outcome of the assault depends on which side you choose in the game, but Strength of Snow would occur first, with Straight to the Heart quest combining the Strength of Snow at the final wave when Grenchius Magnus shows up. 1079, Winter's Day with the Ebon Vanguard spreads to the Norn, and attempted assault by the Char fails. No known Grenth versus Dwayna events in the Eye of the North. And that's pretty much where we're at timeline-wise. So, whether or not he existed ahead of time, I think not. I'd like to think that the quest where we actually made him out of a corncob pipe, or not a corncob pipe, but etc.
Maybe it's he existed, but you're just summoning him, and he needed to know that you're worthy.
Perhaps. Then again, there's the Burls, or the Snowmen, which are just basically the super awesome heroes, essentially, that you would get, that Dwayna summons to fight back the Grenches that Grenth summon. They pretty much look exactly like Freezy, except they're a little bit smaller. And they come in pretty much all the different professions that you could think of from Guild Wars 1. So, next big person that I could think of was Ursula the White, which was she was a polar bear. That was part of the group of the people that helped protect Winter's Day. She doesn't appear to have any powers except for being stronger than any of the little snowmen that come with her. And maybe that she's on Dwayna's side. She has the same kind of skin as the Jingle Bear, the polar bear with the jingle bell, a little bigger. So maybe that means all polar bears are on Dwayna's side. I don't know. And then, just as weird as a snowman mixed with a polar bear, comes long-haired yetis. Don't know, but there's long-haired yetis in the groups of the protectors of Wintersday. Does that mean that all yetis are on the side of Dwayna? Only long-haired yetis? Jotun are sort of in the first game. The Jotun and the long-haired yetis have pretty much the same skin. Are Jotuns on Dwayna's side? Do they even believe in Dwayna, considering what we know, or what I don't know, but I know of from the Ara dungeon? I don't know. So, long-haired yetis. And finally, we have the reindeer, which were pretty much only in Alona, as I mentioned. And they're not really cited, I guess, one way or another, but if a follower of Dwayna gives them presents, then that helps give, like, a rep to Dwayna. Although there is, and I hate mentioning it, but there's Rudy the reindeer, with the glowing red nose, whose powers are that he can find presents, which they use to fend off the Grinches, because they can find the presents before the Grinches to stop them from them getting to destroy them.
Rudy the red-nosed reindeer.
So, Kaysee, you can have Grinch.
I'm having Grinch, okay. Let's start this. Oh, I should quickly mention, I read an interview with someone, I think it was Colin, and he was talking about the Dwayna and Grenth thing. It was from the MMORPG article, and he said that someone asked him as the last question, is there going to be more with Dwayna and Grenth, and is Grenth going to make a return? And he said, maybe? He was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. It's not happening this year. Like, that's basically what his answer was. So it's good to know that at least it's a possibility, but obviously they've just moved on from just basically moved on from the Dwayna thing, it seems. But it's good to know the lore. It's good to know what happened last, and maybe if there's old texts, you know what they're talking about. But I shall start talking about Grenth. Allies of Grenth. Aside from his wicked human supporters, geez, taking a side there, like...
They're necromancers, and they're evil, and they want to destroy Christmas. Winter's Day. That's pretty evil.
There's two sides to every coin. I thought the point was that the gods weren't evil. Okay.
Convince me.
Alright then. So, basically, just because the necromancers doesn't make them evil, necromancers tend to undead bodies, and they tend to... in every society, there has to be someone who tends to the undead. They are kind of wicked. Just because they don't play...
Right. Hey, Kaysee, I tell you what. You're really excited for the Winter's Day content coming tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if some entity, let's call him Grenth, okay, sends a bunch of small little green, Grinch-like creatures to your house to wreck your internet and your computer so you can't have what you really want.
I'll kick their asses.
And then he leaves. And then I go, Kaysee, but they're not really evil. There's two sides to every coin.
But I thought Grenth was just trying to keep winter going. I mean, he's entitled to like winter.
No, it's not wrong to like winter, but to ruin freaking Christmas for everybody, that's a problem. Winter's Day, sorry. But, you know.
Alright. Okay. Aside from his wicked human supporters, who can be found as spiking eggnog, making Grinchies, and destroying snowman, worshipping at the secret altar below Dracnor's Forge, and, well, pretty much being mean. I love it.
It was your fault for not pre-reading my script.
Pretty much just being mean. Grenth, like Dwayna, also has his own magical followers. These are the Grenthers?
You froze.
Oh yeah, that's the stream's issue.
Kaysee.
guys? I don't know if you can still see me or see us.
I can't. I don't think they can see me.
They should be able to in a second.
Okay.
But for some reason, we're really dark.
Yeah, what did you do?
Hmm.
You broke everything.
Your face broke everything.
Please, not this face. This is a moneymaker right here.
The money
Now
maker.
the video's gone. What did you do? You broke everything.
No, you broke it. Okay. Okay, guys. Everyone, be right back. We're gonna try this again in a second. Just take 5. Okay, that should be better.
Better? Again. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Cool.
Yay!
Go.
Sound is back. Thank you. Alright. Okay, now this is where I probably should have asked you how the pronunciation of Agrenthus?
Grenth?
Grenthus?
Grench?
Grenthus
Oh.
magnimus.
Magnus.
Is it Grenthus? Chus?
Wait. Hang on. Nope, nothing here. No sound here either. Yeah, no, Kaysee. It's Grenchit.
Grenchus. Try and get them to. If you still don't hear sound, try refreshing.
Tell them if they don't have sound, they can't hear you, Kaysee.
No. Someone. It's people have sound. Just some people do not. Alright, well, hang on. No, technical difficulties again. Hang on.
thanks, Dan. I'll be in World Beat World if you need me.
Alright, we should be back with noise again, so if there's anything wrong, it should look fine, but if there's anything wrong, just let me know and I'll try and fix it again. I'm so sorry. Ooh, I've got to quickly just turn off this one, hang on.
It's perfect. We got one. It's perfect.
Yay!
Okay. Try refreshing, anybody, if you can hear. I refreshed because I didn't have the stream up, and it brought it back. So,
But
give it a second.
we should be back.
Yes.
There you go. It's a bit of a lag between us and the stream.
Yep, more Horn of Hobbling used on the stream. Look at that face, man. Oh man, that's a new one.
I'm watching you. From now on, if
Really?
anyone makes jokes about these warhorns of hobbling and all this sort of stuff, they have to give me whatever they made a joke about. Like, I want that item.
Hey guys, Kaysee just said she wants a Warhorn of Hobbling.
Oh, what do I live for? Alright, shall we try and continue with the law?
Yeah, let's give that a go.
Alright, so thank you everyone for being very patient with the thing. I'm still learning. And plus the connection to Australia is a bit...
Off.
So, okay. Grenchus?
Grenchus. Yeah.
Grenchus, there you go. Grenchus Magnus is a powerful... Who comes up with this name?
Grench.
Grench leader. Like Freezy, he has been seen leading the Grenth onto assaults and guarding stolen presents. While who is the most powerful is unknown, but he appears to be anywhere that a great attack on Winter Day is held at. Grench are the holy servants of Grenth. I'm saying Grenth so much today. Who only fear death and hatred. Who know only fear, death, and hatred. Wow, that does really sound evil.
Keep reading.
They are the unholy servants of Grenth who only... Oh, there we go. Their hearts are 3 times smaller than humans, and they love nothing more than to ruin Winter's Day. Oh, a normal human can become a Grenth after drinking a special potion. This human or Grenth will then be forced to serve Grenth and carry out some Winter's Day mischief. Ooh. 3 times smaller, that's got to be like a condition or something.
It's also a Grinch joke, if you didn't catch that.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
the Grinch stole Christmas. His
Yeah.
heart's 3 times.
And his heart
Yeah.
grew 3 times bigger. They are sometimes found attacking Brulls.
Pearls. That's what I was talking about. The snowmen.
Brulls in the far Shimmer Peaks. This indicates they have a lair nearby, or that they have been sent to find the lair of the snowman, which eventually succeeds. A humbug is humbugs are scarabs that serve as allies to the Grinch. Not much is known about them, other than the fact that the Grinchies use them to play tricks on people.
Right.
I'm so
So
glad
that
that's
is-
finished.
I really should have took Grinch, the Grinch side instead of Dwayna.
Yep.
But anyway, so that was pretty much, we ran over their allies, we ran over the fight and why it happens pretty much. Well, we didn't run over the fight itself, but we ran over the background and history behind it. Now, I wanted to, because this kind of ties in to Guild Wars 2. In Guild Wars 1, a lot of the other races had pretty staunch feelings about Winter's Day. Obviously, we know the humans are all about it. Okay, the Dredge serve Dwayna. The Dwarves are on Dwayna's side. The Tengu don't participate. The Grawl don't participate. The Stone Summit don't participate, but that's because they're too busy trying to stop the Dredge from celebrating. And then the Norn. I have some interesting stuff regarding the Norn. Okay, so let's see. Where's this one guy? Okay, the Norn do not. There's a Norn in the Eye of the North that, when asked about Winter's Day, he says, "I haven't been here since your people took it over. It's a proper homestead now. and somehow you found a way to celebrate the end of winter in a place where winter has no end. And it's true. The Eye of the North and the Shiver Peaks, it's always wintertime. So, and then most of them, like I said, don't celebrate Winter's Day. Although I could see why they would now in Guild Wars 2, because there were certain Norn that you could convince through holiday-themed alcohol or food or snowball fights, essentially, to join the festivities of Winter's Day, because the Norns are all about party and boasting and drinking and stuff. So, for instance, Brartak the Glutton, when you first approach him, he says, "Do not interrupt my hunt with your foolish Winter's Day talk. The sooner I catch my prey, the sooner I eat, so I have no desire to help a bunch of humans who frolic and sing. Now leave before you become my prey." And you're going to see this as a theme, and then as you give them some more, his thing is food, because he's the glutton. Give him food, and then as it progresses, you get this response. "This is delicious, but far too small to fill up a mighty Norn. A few hundred more might tide me over until I catch my dinner. Though I am hungry now, I will go to your camp." And then finally, "How many more of your celebrations include food?" Then you have Galbram the Intoxicated. "Winter's Day, bah! A pointless holiday for puny people with weak drinks. Why should a mighty Norn waste his time helping those who don't know how to truly celebrate?" Give him some alcohol. "What is this? Yes, I can taste it. Alcohol! Not nearly as weak as I expected. A tankard or two of this eggnog, and I'm sure I'll be feeling the holiday spirit. Where did you say I could get more of this?" And then finally, if your celebration is anything like this eggnog, we'll get along just fine, human." And then, like, text that pops above his head when he's drinking is, "This eggnog stuff isn't half bad, and oh no, my flagon is getting light." And then there's Helga the Cub, who's the craftsman. "I'm sorry, little human, but I'm too busy on a serious Norn quest to help you. Father tells me I'm old enough to earn my own keep, but I'm not good at hunting, and I haven't found a craft that inspires me yet." And this is where you start giving them candy cane shards. "Such exquisite craftsmanship in such a tiny object. And you decorate an entire tree with these? Perhaps I will join you right after I look at your Winter's Day tree." And then, "I didn't think something so ornate could come from someone so small. I can't wait to see this winter tree of yours." And then there's another Norn that's like, "When does the snowball fight start?" And Jorah has a quote that says, "I once killed 20 wolves with 18 snowballs. Who's next?" And the Char, like I said, they didn't celebrate Winter's Day, but they did consider it the season of death. Like many human Grenth followers. And they said the Char will show up and say, "We've come to help you celebrate the season of death. ... Yours." Was one of the things. Pyre Fearshot had a comment when you make him go into, I think it's the snowball fight in the first game, and it said, "You will all suffer for my required participation today." So, it seems a very different... Whoa, there's lots of chat that I've missed out on. But that's okay. It's a Bifrost of Hobbling. So that's pretty much what we knew about the races. And, we didn't really see much at all of any kind of interaction with this Asura with Winter's Day. They didn't seem to really care. Because if you think about where Radasum is located, there's no snow. They don't really care about humans. We were all just Bukas in Guild Wars 1. They didn't care about us. So, it's very interesting that in 250 years' time, the main figurehead is an Asura that gives out toys. So, I'll just run over this last bit, and then we'll kind of get into this kind of open talking point here. So, just for people that don't know what the battle actually was, it comes down, like we said, there's an avatar of Grenth and an avatar of Dwayna, and it's basically whoever has the most interest wins the battle. For us, it was basically we all sit around and play 9 rings. Whoever has the most followers there wins. But, and that's how they decide in the game mechanic-wise, what actually influenced it one way or another lore-wise. I think my opinion would be who has the most support, like reputation and cheer if you're Dwayna, and I don't know, sadness and awfulness if you're Grenth. I don't know. But so that's Winter's Day. Yay, Winter's Day. So Now I'd like to talk about a lot of controversy that the new Winter's Day has brought up. I'd like to first off draw a parallel to how Winter's Day in Guild Wars is kind of similar to how Christmas has turned out to be. And yes, I know Christmas wasn't actually originally celebrated. It was originally a pagan holiday and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Christmas was originally all about Christ and, religion, which is what you're taking away from this. And now I feel, Christmas is more about materialism and toys and gifts. And it's funny that in Guild Wars, at the beginning, it was all about a fight for the gods of Dwayna versus Grenth and all Tyrian human religion. And now it's about an Asura giving out toys to everybody. So...
Well, it's bound to happen if the gods bugger off, If the gods aren't there, I guess people would slowly lose faith and start going into different things. Which would probably explain it more being about toys and stuff like that, because the gods aren't there anymore. And also the gods don't appeal to the other races, whereas the commercialism appeals to every single race.
Yeah, and one of the things is, if you look at the one image of Toymaker Tix, he kind of looks evil. I don't know if anybody else got that. The smile on his face, the concept art. Look at the concept art. Pull it up right now.
Pardon me.
Do it. I feel it looked like a somewhat evil smile for Toymaker Tix.
No.
We pretty much know what's going to happen in the game, so we can't... That whole idea of maybe it's some sort of malicious plan, because we know the Asura's ultimate goal is to control the Eternal Alchemy, which will allow them to control all of Tyria. So maybe this whole Winter's Day toy thing was a plan.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see whether... because they only really create crews and, do these sort of things for self-advancement and for themselves, where the notion of a very selfless Azura, because you have to admit, of all the races, maybe except Char, the Azura definitely come off as very evil. I mean, not even the Char experimented on Sylvari when the Sylvari were first born, and... they did awful war crimes, but that was a war. The Azura just basically hacked up Sylvari for scientific gain. So they definitely come off as the most evil, but for them to become actually the most good, becoming the stand-in Father Christmas and delivering toys and stuff is something definitely very new.
Okay, Joel, I'll give you that they want to control the Eternal Alchemy, but understanding the Eternal Alchemy is how you understand all of the existence of how Tyria works. So I still think the Asura are all evil. And I don't know. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So what does everybody think about maybe this whole thing is actually about the Asura trying to improve their reputation with the other races, as they're known as a selfish, evil little shark race. Maybe this is them like, well, we're going to be super generous and show that we can make giant airships and give presents to all the races of Tyria, to be like, sorry guys that everybody hates us and thinks we're little bastards about trying to steal everything from everybody. Here's toys for all your children. What do you think about that?
It depends. I don't know. Would the High Council really commission that sort of thing?
Well, the thing is, this is the tricky part because they're Asura. Let's give everybody something, but we'll only give them toys. Because it's not like we're going to give them weapons, something that they could use against us. We'll give them all something nice to be generous, but something completely trivial that will not be able to harm us in any way. Let's see. Well, I'll get your opinion and we'll see what happens in the chat. So, you just think that the High Council wouldn't allow that?
No, just... I basically said my opinion before, so... that's fine.
Fine. We're getting a lot of... There might be mind control devices in it. They're trying to backstab us. I think it's like the Carnival story. Yep. Dan, It's Winter's Day. Take a day off. Let's see. What else do I have about things that we can talk about?
Well, the podcast has gone for 2 hours now. So probably a discussion and then wrap it up would be fine.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I think it's very possible that there is a really good Azura out there. And there's always Azura are always going to want to do things for personal gain, for example, doing their status and stuff like that. But it's possible for an Azura to be really good because being good also gives you status and gives you reputation. So it could just be a move where he's like, I want to give everyone presents just to show that I can, just to show that I can be a good person and that I can make this massive ship and float above, and my crew is better than anyone else with delivering presents and doing this sort of thing.
Okay. That's legit. Sorry, I'm just reading through more. I just had a couple of things written off to the side.
Bane, I love you too, but I do have a life and other stuff I need to do.
No, she doesn't. Don't listen to her. That's logging into game and be like, so you want to do Fractals level 7?
Oh my god, you knew exactly what I was thinking.
I know. Too much time together.
So yeah, we should definitely do a dungeon.
Kiata is a nice Azura. Evil grin. And I would like to just pull out, I guess I'll end it with this because I don't have too much more. Actually, let me ask you this, Kaysee. What do you want? You've never, for those of you who don't know, Kaysee's never experienced a Winter's Day in Guild Wars 1. She's a noob. But what do you want to see from Winter's Day? In your ideal Winter's Day? You know what we're going to get, some of it, but what would you like to see?
I think what I would enjoy most is that atmosphere, that feeling of, it's Winter's Day and people are going around trying to get presents, and what I love about these events is that not forces, that sounds really desperate, it encourages people to spend time together, like our guild getting together and doing things. And what I would love to see from Winter's Day is a lot of things that we can do as a group and as a guild, that we can experience the jumping puzzle together, and doing the scavenger hunt was one of them for the Halloween. But I'm curious to see how the other stuff is gonna turn out. If the Toyland Tox is something that the guild can do together, but it says it's an instanced area, so I kind of feel like Guild Wars is really limiting on what I feel like Winter's Day, what these events should really be about, is giving new events that people can do with other people. And by limiting an area, I think that's very not what I want, but what I want to see is new events that we can do together as a guild.
Okay.
Oh, so much hate, not acceptable.
I personally, I'm assuming we're going to see candy cane weapons like we did in Guild Wars 1. My opinion, I would like more differentiated candy cane weapons, because a lot of them looked identical. Like the candy cane staff versus the candy cane hammer was pretty much just how you held it made it look different. The candy cane short bow versus the candy cane long bow, same deal. I'm sure we're going to see mini pets. The thing is, we don't know what the toys are. I'm assuming the toys are mini pets. But we don't know anything about them. And I've heard there's some... I didn't pull any of it up because there was nothing too interesting, although Anthony Orded mentioned something about... I'm surprised that everybody's been talking about all the events and all these questions, and no one's really asked what kind of toys you're building. Which could also tie back into maybe it's mind control devices. And Winter's Day will infect World versus World and PvP, for those of you wondering. But I guess, I'm sure we'll see minis, I'm sure we'll see town clothes. I'm torn between whether or not I want the Winter's Day chests to be... I would prefer if they were like excuse me, the Lost Shores chests, because you could craft more Lost Shores chests with the items you got out of Lost Shores chests. Lost Shores chests. Say it again. 5 times fast. But I would like it to also be in the Black Lion chest because I've been saving up so many keys, so I feel like I want to use them. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to put it in here because I got distracted in doing all this other research for the lore piece of it. 275 new crafting recipes are going to be added to the game as well. So we're going to have new crafting. There's going to be snowmen out and around that you can build, just floating out and around interior. I don't know.
I wonder if they're going to add a layer of snow to everything.
Yeah, they said they're going to add snow in pretty much almost all. I think, and I could be wrong, but I thought I read in every area of the game except for ore.
No, I think I read that as well.
Yep, 275 in Avery. And I'm assuming there's going to be a new resource as well. Probably candy cane shards is what everybody's thinking. That's what I'm thinking personally.
Oh, great. Another resource to fill my inventory box with because they don't make it a freaking collectible icon thing.
That's the worst. That needs to get fixed, like, very, very soon.
Yep.
I don't think I can pull up anything else. I wanted to try to find the interesting stuff about the last little bits that we had, things we didn't mention. Like we have the crafting materials. Like I had a list of all of that. Actually, if you guys would bear with me for like 2 seconds, I think I can find it. Wintersday. I think it was called Wintersday Primer.
Oh, I should also mention something. This is like some inside information that I think Naveen got. Definitely Naveen got. She talked to the guy who did the Halloween music for the clock tower, and apparently there's going to be a lot more Christmas music being released, a lot more different variety and a lot more cool stuff. So that's definitely something very exciting because the music was really good on Halloween. I really enjoyed it. It really added that kind of spooky feeling. So that's going to be some more new stuff, more music, which adds to the nice Winter's Day feeling.
I managed to grab it in the meantime. So, Winter's Day World v World features holiday-themed siege weapons like ballista that shoot candy canes. Presents will occasionally fall from the sky from Toymaker Tix's marvelous airship. Try not to let them hit you on the head, but once they've landed, you can interact with them to get stuff. What sort of stuff? You'll never know unless you open one. There'll also be snowmen scattered around the world waiting to be assembled. But wait, there's more. About 275 crafting recipes will be added to the game. You get access to limited themed finishing moves in PvP. Winter's Day weapons and chests will be making their way into the gem store. There'll also be holiday tonics, gift boxes, and weapon skins that look like the weapons wielded by Tix's inventions. Oh, I had some other things I wanted to add, damn it. Because from the Reddit AMA, there was some pretty useful stuff from that had to do with potentially adding ways to get more town clothes, dungeons using your town clothes and things like that. I don't know if I could.
Well, that's okay.
You know what?
Next episode we're going to be talking about. This is past Winter's Day, and then we're going to be talking about present Winter's Day next podcast, and we can all bring it up then.
Yeah, I'll bring it up in the news piece for next time. So then I guess I will leave you guys with Anthony Orden's description, since we're talking about controversy between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 Winter's Day. This was his comment in relation to somebody being upset and complaining about the changes in Winter's Day and how it changed to materialistic versus religion-based. He, quote, "While I understand the potential for disappointment as a fan of the original game, I also believe Guild Wars has room for both old and new traditions. We seized the opportunity to appeal to classic Guild Wars fans with Halloween, so it feels right to me that Winter's Day will cover some new ground. It also makes a lot of sense given the fact that not only humans have the human gods been missing for some time, humanity itself is rather beaten back to a relatively small corner of Tyria. So I hope you all reserve your judgment until you see what the new version of Winter's Day is all about." Alec Carolina, Dan says Tarnished Coast is open to Switch, so do it. Um, Jal, I don't know if you missed it, but yes, the jumping puzzle is timed. It's frostbite mechanic, like the ice fractal, and your health will slowly go down over time, and eventually you'll die. So,
But that's okay because Arenanet's not going to do the damaging armor on that sort of thing, so you can die as many times as you like, Jal. That's fine.
yeah. Jal, I believe, said he will be doing a jumping puzzle once he figures out how to get through that one. So I'm sure I'll be right there with you. We're just going to try to get through it because Jal's going to be leading our jumping puzzle Fridays, I believe. Possibly. We'll get more on the information on this hard facts for next time.
Yeah.
Going forward. But anyway.
All right, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, because Casey's pressuring me. You guys. You know where it's coming from because I would keep going.
Yeah.
But anyway. So in closing, thank you everyone who viewed us live on the Twitch. Anybody who's listening on iTunes, please subscribe. We need the subscribers. Helps us continue to do what we're doing. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, stalk us on Tumblr. We have a Pinterest with nothing on it. Go to the website, check out. We got the new writers will be coming up soon. The special Winter's Day-esque thing Kaysee announced will be there. Tell a friend or three or a guild or a server. Get a bunch of people to come listen. Kaysee, you're gonna say something?
No, go on.
Yes, Tigress, we do have a Tumblr, but anyway. So if you would like us to shout out to your community or your guild or anything, send us an email. We can be reached at hosts@chroniclesoteria.com. You know what? Tell us what you want to see in Winter's Day, and we'll talk about it on the next episode.
We'll talk about how it's not there on the next episode, or if it is there.
Exactly. I think it's Chronicles of Tyria is the Tumblr name. And anyway, so for Chronicles of Tyria Podcast / CoT Weekly, I'm Lagwyn.
And I'm Kaysee.
And we'll see you next time, and stay classy, Tyria.
Bye.